For many of us, COVID is a distant memory or a pithy strapline on a t-shirt. But for some people, around 400,000 in the UK alone, long COVID is still affecting our ability to conduct normal day-to-day activities. And I was one of those people. Too tired to look after my children, too much pain to walk or work, heart palpitations, dizzy spells, collapses, blurred vision. That was a weird one. Too many symptoms to list right now. But I'm getting better. And the reason why I'm getting better is because I've made massive lifestyle changes. I've read every research paper and treatment protocol that I can get my hands on from all around the world. And then I combined that information with what I could find out about other chronic conditions like chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, MS, fibromyalgia. So I caught COVID in March 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it put me on my back for 2 weeks. And it was horrible, but I was one of the lucky ones. I wasn't hospitalised and I didn't die. And whilst the initial infection faded away, I actually didn't get better. I muddled through working from home, homeschooling the kids, but the long COVID symptoms actually seemed to worsen over time. Eventually, I went to my doctor and I said, how about this long COVID thing? Could this be what's wrong with me? And she looked at me with that face, the one that doctors give you sometimes when they think you've had a little bit too much Google. And she told me that she didn't believe in long COVID. Bear in mind, this was very early in the pandemic. And she diagnosed fibromyalgia and sent me to a rheumatologist for confirmation. That rheumatologist appointment took 6 months to come. And in all that time, I was still in pain. I was still unable to work full time, falling massively into debt. And my poor children were watching me fade away in front of their eyes. So when I finally got my appointment with the rheumatologist, it took all of 15 minutes to overturn the GP's diagnosis of fibromyalgia and send me back to the GP for a referral to the long COVID clinic, or PCAS, post-COVID assessment service. The long COVID clinic appointments were massively backed up. It took 6 months just to get the first email. Another 2 months to have a phone appointment with a physiotherapist whose job was to ask me a set of questions which were designed to assess my suitability to take part in the service. And he advised me to look at the website, My COVID Recovery or something like that, and to implement everything on that website. And it was all stuff I'd already done, and I wasn't getting any better. So I got off that phone and I felt hopeless. And I realised that they couldn't help me. They didn't know what to do. There was no cure. And it was just a game of wait and see. I couldn't go another 6 months in this pain and the fatigue. I couldn't do it. No one was coming to save me. I was going to have to help myself. So I hit the books. I turned myself into a human guinea pig. I cut out all processed food, wheat, gluten. I put myself on supplements that were recommended in the treatment protocols in different countries, and I took full responsibility for my own recovery. So far, I've lost 18 kilos, and I've reclaimed a good portion of my life back. I can now look after my children. I can only work part-time without relapsing, and sometimes even that is a bit much. But, I'm moving in the right direction, and I have hope. More importantly, I have hope. So if you're still listening to this, then either you've got long COVID or you know somebody who's got long COVID. And I would like to help as many people as I can. All 400,000 in the UK, if possible. So please like this video or subscribe or forward it to somebody that you know needs it, because I'm going to spill the beans on everything I tried and read and researched about long COVID that's led to these personal improvements for me. And if that helps anyone, then that will be worth it. So what I'd like to ask you, it would be great if you would help me to spread the word about how to recover from long COVID.